how to dress and undress a resident. So there's going to be certain residents in your facility that are going to have a arm that's going to be weaker. So you have to put their clothes on the weaker side. Let's say like this hand's weaker, so I would put in like the arm sleeve of this arm of my weaker side, and then I would go with the strong side. So when you put on clothes, you put on clothes from the weaker side to the strong side, and then when you take clothes off, you do the opposite. So you do from strong side to weaker side, because if you try to take off let's say you have a sweater on and you're trying to take off the arm first from the weaker side, you're gonna try to like all like crumble the arm all weird and stuff, and it's gonna hurt them. So it's easier for you to take it off from the stronger side, from the weaker side, and then put it on from the weaker side to the strong side. We need to encourage our resident to be more independent. So when we're dressing them, we gotta encourage them to do stuff by themselves. Like, hey, to help me put on your shirt, or just try to like encourage them to start being more independent, and because it promotes self-esteem. When we dress them, and if they're dressing themselves and we're just helping them, we can't rush them. So we're just there for support and just guiding them and just trying to make sure that everything's good. And make sure that your residents' clothing has their names on it. So usually click on their tag, put their name on their initials or something. But you got to make sure that all their belongings have their names on it, or else it's gonna get lost and they're not gonna see their clothes again. I had this resident who their wife brought them a box full of clothing and just a lot of things, and he thought that his wife put his name on it, and he put it in a bag for me to take, so I took it, and he told me he didn't put his name on it, and now his belongings are all gone. So now he tells his wife to put his name on it, and he tells me now like, oh, this has my name on it, not like last time where he told me that his wife put his name on it when she didn't. But we gotta encourage him to take out, like when it's nighttime and it's morning time, to make sure that they put on regular clothing and take out their pajamas. Helps them like feel like more like a brand new day, or more like alert, because they have people clothes on, not just the gowns or their pajamas on. Always provide privacy when changing or undressing a resident. Either you close the curtain or you close the door. And make sure that all clothing has no wrinkles, or else it will create pressure sores on their body. And make sure that it's easier to change a resident and put on clothing when they have like when their clothing is like elastic waistband. I feel like it's more easier. But if it's more like of a zipper and a button like regular jeans or anything like that, you just gotta make sure that you kind of like make sure it's not tight on them. If it starts being more tight, then let the family know that they need more clothing that are a little bigger size, because we don't want to get their skin caught on the zipper or anything like that. Dressing a resident that has a IV. So do not pull or catch the tubing on the clothing. Keep the IV bag above the IV site at all times. First, remove the clothing. Start with the side without the IV. Slowly pull off clothing, slide it over the tubing, lift the IV bag off the hook and pull the garment over the bag, and then hang the bag back on the hook. Put the clothing first on the side with the IV, lift the bag off the hook, and slide the clean clothing over the bag, and then hang the bag back on the hook. Gently pull the clothing over the tubing and the arm. Pull the clothing over the arm and secure clothing. Check to make sure that the tubing is not clinked after you are finished. If you note that the IV is not dripping, report to the nurse immediately. Ask the nurse to check the IV if you have any concerns. How to assist a male resident using a urinal. So all like urinals and bedpans are always need to be kept in the restroom, never in their room or anything like that, but they need to be kept in the restroom. And so when we first go in there, we need to identify ourselves by name and wash our hands, explain to the resident what we're going to be doing. So if he tells me I need to use the restroom, gotta let him know, like, okay, well, let me go get the urinal, and let me just get all your stuff ready for you to use the restroom. Then provide the resident privacy with a curtain or screen or door. Adjust the bed to safe level, usually waist high, so we don't break our backs. And then we put on gloves. Then we go to the restroom or where the urinal is kept, and we go and get the urinal. And then we place bed protectors under the resident's butts and hips. Hand the urinal to the resident. If the resident is not able to do so himself, place the urinal between his legs and then position the penis inside the urinal. And then replace the bed covers after he's done. Remove and discard gloves. Wash your hands. Raise the head of the bed. Place wipes within resident's reach. Ask the resident to clean himself and his hands. When finished, leave call light within reach. Wash your hands. Ask resident to signal when done. Then leave the room and close the door. When called by the resident, return and wash your hands and put on clean gloves. Have resident hand over the urinal to you or gently remove urinal. Remove the bed protectors. Discard disposable supplies. Take urinal to the bathroom. Note color, order, amount, and qualities of contents. Empty contents into toilet unless a specimen is needed for the nurse to check on. Turn on the faucet with a paper towel. Rinse the urinal with cold water. Empty rinse water into the toilet. Flush the toilet. Place urinal in proper area of cleaning or clean and store it according to policy. Remove and discard gloves. Wash your hands. Return bed to the lowest position. Remove privacy measures. Make resident comfortable. Leave collar within resident's reach. Wash your hands and leave the room. So after we're done with the urinal and we have their output in the urinal, we go to the restroom and we dump it in the toilet, never in the sink or anything, in the toilet. And then we usually should have a cup and we should get water from the faucet and just pour it in the urinal and just try to swish it around to get any of the excess urine that was not able to release into the toilet. So we just do that a couple times, maybe 2-3 times, and you dump the water in the toilet. And then after you're done, try to get a paper towel and rinse the outside, or try to pat dry the outside of it, and then leave it in the restroom and then flush the toilet. How to assist a resident with a bedpan. So bedpans, urinals are always kept in the restroom. And there's a lot of different types of bedpans. There's standard bedpans, fracture bedpans, and they're all different. There could be, wider ones, thicker ones, so there's a lot of different types of bedpans. But when you assist a resident, you gotta make sure that you enter the room respectfully and you identify yourself by name. Then you put on gloves, and then you close the curtain or the door and you get their bedpan. And so you gotta make sure that when you put the bedpan, that you take off all their the undergarment, and then have them turn onto their side. Have them grab on the rail, turn onto your side, and you gotta make sure that you put a bed protector, so a pad, and then you put the bedpan, and then have them turn the other side, and then take out the pad, and then make sure that the bedpan is on the wider side, because the butt, you put it under the butt, and you just gotta make sure that it's just there right. But putting on bedpans, and you're always gonna have trouble with them, and you're always gonna need practice. So practice makes perfect. It's okay if when you put the bedpan and you take it off, there's a mess. And I remember when I did it for the first time, it went everywhere and I had to change them. But It's never perfect, but to make it easier when they're done with the bedpan, try to, like, before they turn over on their side, try to, when they're turning over to their side, try to get the bedpan as fast as you can, because when they turn, sometimes it will suction to their butt, and then the whole bedpan will be stuck to their butt, and it's gonna go everywhere. Like if they urine, that's just gonna go all over them. But try to pull on the bedpan when they're turning, so it doesn't fall or tip over and there's no mess. And I've been doing that, and it's actually been helping me. There's less of a mess. But this is never perfect, and you're always gonna need practice on bedpans. But I found that to work with me. After you're done, you gotta make sure that if it's just urine, then you just dump it in the toilet, and you get a cup, and you clean it, and then you wipe it down, and you leave it in the restroom. But if they've gone number 2, then you try to dump as much as you can with either your glove or with a toilet paper, and try to like take out all the specimen in the toilet, and then get paper towels or anything, and just try to clean it as much as you can. Get your cup of water, dump it in there, and just try to clean it as much as you can, and then leave it in the restroom. How to make an occupied bed. So right now my whole family has COVID, so we can't really be close to each other, and I have COVID too, so we're not really like face to face or whatever. But how to make an occupied bed. You gotta make sure that you have to make sure that you have all your supplies with you. So you gotta have a fitted sheet, the flat sheet, a blanket, and then how many pillow covers of how many pillows that they have. So let's say they have 2 pillows, you get 2 pillow covers, and you make sure that you get like a big bag, because there's gonna be a lot of like the sheets are very like heavy, and so you gotta make sure you get a big bag to put them back, so you can put them in the laundry, in the dirty laundry. But of how to make a bed with the person in it, you gotta make sure that you turn their resident on one side, and then from when them being on over, you gotta take off all the linen that's on the side that they're not on now. So like you pull out all the sheets and everything, and you tuck it in under them, and then with the new sheet, with the new stuff, you gotta make sure that you put in the fitted sheet, and then the pad, because if they use the pads, you put the pad, but if they don't, then you don't need to put a pad under. But so you put you put the old stuff under them, and then you also put the new stuff under them too. And then so when they flip over, you pull off all the old stuff, and then you pull out the new stuff. So like the fitted sheet, and then after you're done with the fitted sheet and with the pad, if they use a pad, then you put the flat sheet on top of them, and then their blanket, and then you put their new pillow covers on their pillows. And for it not to be messy, like at the ends, you gotta make sure that of the ends of the bed, you pick up the bed, and then you get like the leftover sheet from the corners, and you tuck it in, and then there's gonna be another flap from the outside, and you put that flap inside, so it's nice and fitted. So like on the corners, so like the residents, if they move along in bed, it won't like destroy their bed or anything like that. It'll keep them nice and warm, their toes nice and warm all the time, because they're not like having the blanket all like ugly and not on them and stuff. But that's how you make an occupied bed.